Hi, everybody. It's Friday. It is Friday. And I'm Carolyn with Swan Yarns. Welcome, everybody. I'm so glad that you are here. Whether you are here live or if you join in later, I'm glad that you're here. So, just a quick intro what today is all about. Happy Hearts in yarn, of course, because that's the name of a collection of colorways that I've released, but also in mindset. So, February is often thought of as the month of love, and each of us, I think, celebrates in different ways. Some of us are all about the flowers and the chocolates, and some people not so much. Maybe you've had a bad experience with something happening or for whatever reason, but that doesn't mean that you can't have a good mindset. I was just having a conversation with Connor this morning. We were talking about how important our inner dialogue is. Literally the things that you tell yourself and that you not just believe about yourself, but literally that you tell yourself, they can, I think, make or break you. There are certain situations where I've not really felt so great about myself, and I've literally had to change the way I respond and the way I think about myself, literally just by telling myself something that I may not necessarily feel at the time. So I just, yeah, so that's really, and if you read this morning's newsletter, I just briefly mentioned about that. And, for me, it's right now, it's becoming very important. And I'm realizing how much I need to focus on the the situations that I'm in, the family, having presence in each moment and just enjoying it. So, however you celebrate this month, or if you don't celebrate at all, I hope that it's still a positive experience for you. And a lot of that, I think we control ourselves. So yeah, so I just wanted to say that, and then we can move on. In fact, let's look at who all's here. I had briefly said good morning. Actually, it is good morning for some of you, but for a lot of us, it's also afternoon, isn't it? There's Valera and Anne, who says it's overcast and misty in Southern California. Yeah, you probably do. You get a lot of that? What do they call it? Sea fog or ocean. I visited my sister out there years ago, and there was a lot of that coming in. I forget what the name of it was or what they called it, but it was there for a good part of the morning each day. All right, Laura, 72, that sounds perfect. And Katrin and Lonnie, hey, 60 degrees in Dallas today. Okay. Carol and Deborah Sue, and another Carol Burdette says 72 in Apollo Beach. I have not been outside much this morning. I took the dog out and it felt a little bit cool, but we've definitely been getting the humidity back. And I know one weather forecast or meteorologist that I follow was saying that we don't have any cold fronts in the immediate future. February might be a little bit warm. So, which, after a very nice, cool January, that's a little bit disappointing. But we do what we deal with what we got. So Billy is here. Hey, Billy. Tara. Hey, Tara. I'm glad you're here. And Karen and Star. I'm so glad y'all are here. Lonnie, happy sports ball weekend. Okay, very nice. I like it. Love the scarf. Yes, we'll talk more about that. Thank you, Katrin. And let's see, Diane is here. All right, Teresa, I'm glad you're here. And Tish, and you are very chilly in New York, 20 degrees. Ooh, it feels like 12. Oy. All right. Okay, Lonnie, you're getting a cold front this weekend. Oof. Okay. Bundle up, wear your knits. All right, so we're going to do things in a little bit of a different order today. I have all sorts of things to show you and to tell you. So I think we'll start off with a couple of sort of announcements, and then we'll go into, I think we'll do the shop update first, just because some of the other whips have to do with the shop update. So yeah, I think we'll just kind of do things in a different order today. So starting off, I did want to show you all a couple of things. So let's see. The February Fiber Challenge, y'all are going strong. I love that. And I think somebody had posted a project that they had meant. Was it you, Anne, that you'd meant for January? And then somebody said, oh, but it actually works for February too. And I was like, it does. It totally does. So yeah, sometimes I think when we have vague guidelines, like it's any of these colors, then sometimes it's almost like it's harder to know what you want. Morgan will say that sometimes about her for professors. They're not specific enough. It's like they're too vague. I don't know what they want. So I realize that February might be a little bit difficult because it is color focused. And so you might think, oh, it needs to be something, romantically inclined or something like that, or, a gift for your significant other. And it doesn't have to, as long as it's got red or pink or purple or white, then you're good to go and it counts. So yeah, if you're participating, don't forget to either post in the thread, or if you post in the Swan City Stitchers group at large, hashtag February, which you all have been doing, and I appreciate that so much. Thank you. I loved seeing your projects, by the way. They're awesome. We're going to show some today. So this is the prize, and I realized so I had done a post on this. This is the prize. It's 2 skeins of silky sock, and the colorway is actually from last year's Love You Weary series that I had done, and it was called Stuck in Pride and Prejudice for the movie the movie that was called An American in Austin, which is very interesting to me that last year they had Jane Austen themed movies, and this year would be her 250th birthday. So that's when all the Jane Austen things are going on. And this year's are not Jane Austen themed. So obviously somebody wasn't really thinking about that, which is fine. It was still cool last year anyway. So I did a post showing these, and I think Carol maybe mentioned that something about the red. And I was like, well, I don't know why it looks so red, because it's actually more of a purpley pink. But I realized when I was looking at it in the light, I think the reason I see it as a pinky purple is because with that blue, the blue and the deep red that's in there, almost like a maroon in there, that it kind of gives off a pinky purple vibe to me. I loved it. So these have been hanging out in my stash for a little bit. And then I decided, you know what, I think I can give these away. I think I can bear to part with them. So these 2 skeins of silky sock will be given to the winner of the February Fiber Challenge at the end of the month. Yeah. So we shall see who wins those. So that's that. Now, speaking of Love You Weary, okay. Did y'all realize the debacle? I don't think some of you realize the gravity of the situation. I posted, if you didn't see my post in the Swan City Stitchers, I was like, they've changed the order of our movies. So if you don't know what happened, let me enlighten you. So they put out the order of the movies. So you could even download, which I did, the movie guide, they called it, and it showed the 4 movies and the dates when they would be playing. So the first week was An Unexpected Valentine. Great. I saw a trailer for it. I dyed up a colorway that was inspired by that, sent it out. And then I think I told you all last week that I had a hard time. I couldn't find a trailer for Sisterhood Inc., which was supposed to be the second week. Well, the reason for that was last Saturday night, I'm sitting watching An Unexpected Valentine, and oh, look, there's a trailer for the next movie coming out, and it's not Sisterhood Inc. at all. Instead, it's The Wish Swap. That was supposed to be the last movie of the month. I was like, oh, this is just, it cannot be born. I had already started sending out the Sisterhood colorway, so it had a Sisterhood name and everything. Some of you are kind enough to post that it doesn't matter, that you will take it anyway, and I appreciate that. So needless to say, the next colorway you get is based on The Wish Swap, which is tomorrow night's movie, the second movie in the series. Now I'm going to show you a sneak peek. I'll get back to the comments in just a minute. I'm going to show you a sneak peek. So if you have not gotten yours, you signed up and you haven't gotten you should have. I would hope that everybody has gotten theirs by now. But if you haven't, you don't want to see it, then look away and close your eyes or your ears. Because here it is. Dun, dun, dun. There it is. And I just called it Sisterhood because obviously they didn't have a trailer out and I couldn't think of a name. So this is it. And you'll see those plum tones in there that are speckled. Those coordinate with the plum speckling that happened on the first week's skein. And I cannot wait for you to see the next colorway. I'm glad that I'm dyeing up an extra one for me on each of these colors. Pretty good. So, yeah. So anyway, oh, and this one, yeah, I named it Sisterhood. So this is actually for the last movie in the series. But that's all right. I think it's a good colorway. So let's see here. All right. Lonnie's working on the Go-Go Dynamo. I like it. Thank you, Carol. Yes, we're going to talk about the new colorway. Oh, Lonnie, you need 4 skeins. Well, you know, there are 4 colorways in this collection that we're getting ready to talk about. I love it. Yes, it was a good first movie. You're right, Carol. I enjoyed it. Thank you. That's very sweet of you. All right. So moving on. Oh, let's see. I thought I might show you real quick before we, okay, a couple of things I wanted to show you. So real quick before we get into that. So I did a short on YouTube this week. You may have seen it on a new colorway that I am dyed up for Tracy. So Tracy reached out to me and said, hey, I have an idea for a colorway. And I wanted to tell you all about it because sometimes people will ask me, do you do special colorways? And the answer is kind of, well, it depends. And to be honest, a lot of it depends on you. So, for example, I'm going to give you 2 scenarios, and I hope that you'll kind of see why it depends. So Tracy says to me, she says, hey, can you give me a call? I have an idea. So we ended up talking and doing a FaceTime. And she said, so I love the colorway Deep Dive. And I don't know if y'all remember, that's an older colorway. It had 2 different blues in it. So it was like an aqua and then a deeper blue. And she said, I knit up the accumulus in that colorway. I loved it. And I can't get it out of my head. I want to do one with pink and orange with that same dye technique. And I was like, oh, we can totally do that. So I said, we just have to pick out the pink and the orange that you like. So she had some color samples that she showed me. And based on that, I showed her some dye samples that I have in the dye studio. And she picked out a pink and an orange. And she said, yep, that's what I want. And so in that situation, I'm very happy to do it. Because one of the things that I say is that if you do a special order or a special colorway like that, you can't just return it. You can't just say, I didn't like it. Because obviously I don't have endless amounts of resources, time, and yarn to play around and hope that I get the colorway correct that you want. So let me show you what I dyed up for her. These are 2 skeins that I twisted up this morning. Morgan will be going out and twisting up the rest, and then these will go out in the mail for her today. So she wanted primarily pink, and she said the orange, which ended up the peach, it was more of a peachy color that she chose. She said it'll just kind of be in the background, and it is. So she did really well picking that out. And so I ended up naming it Pink Diamond because I looked up there are some peaches that are actually, they have a pink cast to them, and they're called Pink Diamond Peaches. So this is how I name my colorways. So Tracy is getting Pink Diamond. She's getting a whole slew of these skeins on fluffy lace. And again, you can kind of see there peach, exactly like she said. It's just kind of there in the background, but you need that second color. And so I love it. I love the pink. That first one, she said that pink, I was like, okay. But yeah, that girl's got a good eye for color. So she did good. So that is pink diamond. So now let me tell you another situation. And I've had this happen multiple times. And I know people are well-meaning in one sense of the way. It's almost a compliment. It is a compliment. And it's very kind. However, it just doesn't make for a good situation. Someone will show me someone else's colorway, for example, and say, can you dye this up? Well, first of all, in case you don't know, and I can see where a lot of people don't, indie dyers get very fussy about trying to copy their colorways. That's a no-no. And two, if you think about it, honestly, if somebody had my colorway and they showed it to somebody else, it would be nice if the dyer would say, well, you know, you got it from Swan City Yarns. Why don't you just ask her to dye it up again? But I get it. We all want to support our favorite dyer or someone that's local to us that we might know. And so, you know, that's, you know, kind of a situation where you want to give them business, and it might be easier that way. But I'll be honest, that's not a situation that I feel comfortable with for multiple reasons. One, what I just talked about, but also because how do I know I'm going to get the color blend right? Do you know what I mean? Like I can't guarantee that it's going to look exactly like that anyway, even if that were an okay thing to do. So every once in a while, you know, I have had someone give me a picture in the past and say, hey, I want you to dye up a colorway inspired by this because it's a meaningful picture. And so I do, and they take it. But I think in order for that situation, you have to be confident in my dye abilities. You know, we all have dyers that you pretty much like everything that they put out. And I can think of a few. I was having this conversation with Vanessa at Knitcessities, and she was like, oh yeah, this dyer. And I was like, yes, exactly. I would buy anything that she put out because she's got such a great moody aesthetic. So, you know, that sort of thing. So I don't know if that helps or not. If you're ever wondering if I'll do a special order, hopefully that will help. And you can always reach out and ask, because I can always say, no, I won't do that, for sure. And yeah, so I just wanted to show you all that. Okay, what else? Yeah, those colors. Oh, Tracy's on here. I'm so excited. It's going out today. I love it. Okay. I'm glad y'all like that. Hey, if anybody else wants it, let me know. I'm sure Tracy won't mind. And you'll notice that, so I did this with dry powder speckling. And of course it doesn't, you know, it's blurred because it's on that alpaca lace weight. Alpaca tends to blur the speckles anyway. So, and the lace weight even more so. So anyway, yeah, that was a fun. I love to do projects like that. Those are awesome to do. All right. I wanted to show you real quick before we get into the new collection. This is something Katie sent me, Katie Erickson. She found it at a bookshop down in Cocoa near Knit and Stitch Boutique. She was there the last time that I did a trunk show and apparently forgot to give me these, so she sent them to me. They're little page tags that are in the theme of Pride and Prejudice. So you have Jane, Elizabeth, Darcy, and Bingley. And I love it. I use page tags all the time in my dye books, in the books that I'm reading. Sometimes I use them as well, obviously bookmarkers, but so I was so excited about these. Thank you, Katie. Excuse me. They're awesome. And okay, do y'all remember, it's been a good month or more ago now, when I got a couple sets of the Knit Pro Cubics, those purple needles. Well, I've been at Knitcessities I've had to be there for multiple times in recent past. And so I had Vanessa order me some, and here they are. So this set comes in, it starts at size 6 and goes up to 11, US 11. So it's a 4 millimeter through 8 millimeter. And these are still brand new in the pack. I hadn't even gotten them out yet. And so I'm going to look to see if you can get them in smaller sizes, because I wouldn't mind having them like even in a size 1 for socks. And then in the other, there's a little pouch, and I notice you only get 2 lengths of the interchangeable cords, which I haven't even pulled those out to see what lengths they are. I'm guessing maybe a 22 and a, oh no, that's a shorty. Oh, that's like what, 8 inches? So you could totally do hats. That's perfect. Ooh, we're going to talk about a hat today. So I might get to use these sooner than I thought. So I wonder what this one is then. Oh, this is, yeah, this isn't much. Oh, these are are these different? No, those are the same. Those aren't, I would, what is that? Like 14 inches? Are we thinking? Okay. So I need to look for some longer cables because I obviously 22, what is 36? Is that the next one? Those would be good to have. Now, I think if I remember correctly, you also get a choice in 4-inch or 5-inch tips. And I prefer 4-inch just because I feel like they're a little bit more versatile if you're wanting to knit hats or something like that. Then if you get, I bet if you get the 5-inch set that you get longer cables with it. That would be my guess. But anyway, so, and price wise, I think this was somewhere around $100. So not bad. So I'll let you know what I think of the joins and all of that as I try them out, because obviously I haven't had a chance to do that. And I'm very spoiled with my chow goos. I will say that. Morgan made me a nice coffee. Isn't that sweet of her? We've gotten into a routine about this time every day. Whichever one of us makes it first, we'll go ask the other one, you want an iced coffee or an iced tea or something? So I suspect her love language must be acts of service, similar to mine. Interesting. All right, let's move on, shall we? Oh, by the way, those are called, did you know, these are actually called j'adore. I think, I don't know, that's my lousy French accent. And as soon as Vanessa said that, she was like, I don't know what that means. And Bo said, love, at least I think that's what it means. That boy took French in high school. I think he was trying to impress the ladies or something. Anyway, so yeah, okay, moving on. Oh, okay, real quick before I forget, love you, wary people. After your last billing, which should be this start, some of the earlier people who signed up, your last billing will start this weekend. Once your last billing has taken place, I will cancel your subscription, just so you know. There was nothing afoot. It's just that this subscription app that I have, I think it's geared towards companies that have, you know, like food products or whatever, and you get on a subscription and it keeps going until the customer decides to end the subscription. So, you know, they're not really set up for people with a limited time subscription. They need to get on the ball. But anyway, so I will cancel your subscriptions for you. Hey, Joe Carroll. Oh, Lori, she gave you chows. That's a good daughter right there. That tells, I think you need to knit her something. That's so sweet. Yeah, I'm glad you're here. Let's see what else. All right. Yeah, chow goos. I love my chow goos. You know, and I think it's sometimes, you know, like I said, we just want something a little bit different. You know, you can be a sock knitter all the time, and then every once in a while you get a wild hair and you just want to knit a worsted weight project or something. And then if you're like me, you're like, I miss my socks. So then we go right back. Okay. Happy hearts. Now, oh, and I didn't upload the picture. I knew I was going to forget that. I even have it on my notes. Upload shawl pic to StreamYard. Do you think that I did? No. All right. I have posted a picture of the inspiration shawl, and it's also in your newsletter. The picture of the shawl that started it all. It was at Distaff Day, and I was thinking about the different colors I wanted to do for my next collection. And Michelle Browning walks in with a shawl that is glorious. It's called Your Slip is Showing. This is my version of Your Slip is Showing. Nothing, the colors are nothing like Michelle's, by the way. So it requires 4 different colors that you use all throughout, and you're interchanging them and you're slipping stitches. That's why your slip is showing. Anyway, so hers, was gorgeous. And I was like, Michelle, I need a picture of your shawl. And all but one of the colors are colors that I've dyed regularly, but having them together in this collection is amazing. And she did such a good job. So let me show you what the colors are. All right. So first of all, the ever popular Queen of Tarts. Y'all know this one. It's a beautiful plummy purple, deep, dark, rich. And then there is also charcoal. That is a beautiful deep silver, and it's a very tonal. It's kind of washing out a little bit on my screen, but it's got deep dark speckles, and then it's some very lighter spots as well. So very tonal. It's an awesome neutral silver. And then you're blushing, which is just a fun pink. I'm going to compare it to some other pinks in a little bit so you can see the difference. It doesn't look it by itself, but when you start matching it with other pinks or laying it beside other pinks, you'll see that it leans a little bit more purple. Just looking at it, it doesn't look purple. But like I said, once you lay it up against other pinks, you can kind of see it. And then last this is Duke of Hastings. I'm thinking of shortening it to just Duke. So this was done. I did this in the very first Bridgerton box. Do y'all remember that season 1 with the Duke of Hastings and Daphne and their love story? Yeah. So this was inspired by some of his rich vests that he wore. They had a beautiful sheen to them. I think there was one that was a deep dark green that he wore. There was one that was this deep rich red. So it kind of got put together in this colorway, which I'll be honest, it's a good colorway. By itself, I wasn't like, oh, the angels are singing or anything like that. But put these all together, and I'm just going to hold them up willy-nilly. They really look nice, especially in the shawl that Michelle did. Now, I will tell you, so your slip is showing you have to choose your color A, B, C, and D, and then how you choose them will determine how the colors interact with each other. So I'm going to tell you how Michelle did hers, and I will also put it in the show notes if you are interested. This is a fingering weight shawl. It's gorgeous. It's fun. It keeps your interest because you only do a certain amount of rows with 2 colors, and then you're switching. But it's not so often that, oh my gosh, all these ends and all that. It's just a great fun. I'm not even a huge shawl knitter, but I really enjoyed this and it just flew by. So let's see. Color A was the Queen of Tarts that she used. B was your blushing. C was charcoal. And then D was Duke of Hastings. All right. So that was the order that she used them. Now you can do them however you want, obviously. And, one of the things I mentioned in the newsletter was I love seeing all the combinations that you all come up with. Some of you all have had way more knitting experience than me. And, your stash looks different than mine. I can't keep every colorway in stock. So I would never have thought to put those 4 colors together, but Michelle did. And and even in the pattern, since the pattern is by Casa Pink, I think I mentioned that. She mentions that colors, I don't remember, but she tells you which colors you kind of see down here. Because, when you wrap it, there are some of the colorways, some of the sections that are just more visible than others. So the way I'm wearing it, it just makes a nice, I think, overall presentation. So you kind of see all of them, but you can see like this section here is very prominent. So I remember when I chose my colors, do I have a note? I don't know. I thought I had a note of my colors somewhere. Oh, I have them on Ravelry. If you are interested, let me know. And maybe I'll include that in the show notes as well. I know it's Feeling Saucy. Gosh, Candy Corn was one. oh, what was the other? Fuzzy Navel was one. What else? I'm missing one. So Feeling Saucy, Candy Corn, or Hairy Navel it's called. I don't remember what the other one is. Anyway, I'll put it in the show notes. I'll put the order that how I assigned them and everything. So, okay, so my base, this is Silky Sock. So it's a fingering weight pattern. And I had not a ton of each skein left. If I remember correctly, it was a small amount of each skein left. So you could do it on any of the fingering bases, even, ooh, like if you chose Fluffy Sock, that would be like, whew, talk about some serious straight. But this is Silky Sock. So you could do Silky Sock, you can do Trusty Sock, you could do Swanky Sock, but you'll have plenty extra left of that since there's 600 yards in that. But yeah, so thank you, Lonnie. I appreciate that so much. Oh, you're so good. Thank you. Did you look on my Ravelry page? You are amazing. I appreciate that so much. So Lonnie says, A is Feeling Saucy, B, Candy Corn, C is Hairy Navel, Raspberry Sorbet. That's the third one. That's that beautiful red in there. And I have to say, I'm very pleased. I don't have much orange in my wardrobe, and there are only a few oranges that look good on me, and yellows too. But I think that I did a decent job. I did a good guessing job because I think I just kind of pulled colors. So yeah. All right. Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Lonnie says it's a Casapinka pattern, so it will fly right on by. Yeah. All right. Yes, Karen, those are definitely, those subscription apps are a pain. I just had a glitch the other day that I had to, but they were very helpful and handled it immediately. So, Sherlonda, hope I'm saying your name right. If I order, will you ship to OKC? I'm sorry, you got to tell me where that is, or one of y'all help me out because you know how I am. I currently ship throughout the United States, to Canada, and to the UK, if that helps. So yes, absolutely. All right. And then, yeah, so I answered Kim's question. Thank you, Lonnie, for that. Matching socks. What do you mean, Kim? Are we doing matching socks? You know I like sister socks. I was just bragging about you and Tabo. Oklahoma City. Yes, obviously. Sorry, I don't mean obviously. I ship throughout the U.S. So yes, Oklahoma City. In fact, I have to go to the post today. So place your order now. All right. So now I want to talk about these colors. Okay. So I have to tell y'all, Bo got me a new phone specifically for the camera because I was having issues, and wow, it's amazing. So there are certain colors, for example, if you are on the website searching, you might notice. So here's your blushing that I showed you on Silky Sock. Here it is on Fluffy Sock. You see that difference with the alpaca? So if you happen to do a search and you're like, there is a difference. And at first, I'll be honest, when I was labeling this, I was like, okay, did I happen? But I dyed them on the same day. So it's not like I could have mixed up the dye powders. And I'm guessing that for some reason, it just is looking different on this alpaca base. So, and so there are some differences like that. And another thing that I thought was really cool, let me show you. So charcoal on most of the bases, I showed you, it looks like this. That's Silky Sock. It looks exactly like that on Trusty Sock, on the DK weights. Well, I didn't do this. Yes, I did. I did it on Fluffy DK. So this is where it looks different, is on the fluffy bases. That's the alpaca bases. Let me show you. So here it is on Fluffy DK. You see how it still has a tonal quality, but it's very, very blurred. Fluffy lace, even more so. Like, there's still a very tonal quality to it, but it's way more subdued, excuse me. And then here it is on fluffy sock. And somebody asked me, by the way, at a trunk show recently, so fluffy sock, does that mean you knit socks with it? And I was like, I really named it that just to be consistent because it's a sock fingering weight. However, and then I told her my whole spiel about how I like to combine fluffy sock with trusty sock so that I get the warmth of the alpaca and the squishy dreaminess of it, but I get the stitch memory of trusty sock, which has merino and nylon. So I just thought y'all might like to see, these are the fluffy bases with alpaca. So charcoal definitely shows up differently on that. They're very fun. So one thing that I need to, so let me say this also. I did dye them for the first time on Trusty Sport. I have just recently started building that collection a little bit. So I put these 4 colorways on it, and I believe I have a red mail pouch that I just put in there. So at first I was going to make that entire collection dyed to order, but I just went ahead and dyed some up because it's pretty much everything is dyed to order. If you need 2 or more skeins, I'll dye it for you. So at this point, it's not that hard. So yeah, so that's that. Let's see, was there anything else I wanted to tell you about? Oh, if you get the so swanky sock, essentially the beast, which I now call swanky sock. Yes, if you get that, you could totally make socks. Absolutely, who doesn't want to make socks? Yes, the base yarn does make a huge difference for sure. Fluffy laces like knitting. Yeah, I tell you what. The other thing is that the fluffy DK. If you have not knit with this yet, I challenge you to knit with it. It is like wearing a cloud, very similar to fluffy lace if you've knit with it, but it knits up faster. Well, not necessarily faster if you're holding fluffy lace, 2 strands of it together. But yeah, it's just, it's fun. It's a good one. And yes, Laura is making me a sample right now with the Trusty Sport. So I'm trying to decide, you all have to help me. I want to make something that it's called the, I hope I'm saying this right, the Cindo Cowl by Winter's Weather Knits. And it is a cowl, but what I like about it, I think it's more than just an everyday cowl. And it obviously you can wear it in cooler, cold months and like a like a regular cowl to keep you warm. But to me, I think it's elegant enough that you could wear it. You see, she's wearing it with a t-shirt. And so it would be, I think it would be nice to have it and then wear it in the summertime as like an accent piece, kind of like a shawl. So it calls for holding together, I think, 2 sport weights. I think it said sport plus sport on the pattern page. I want to say it said sport plus sport and equals worsted, which seemed a little heavy to me. Why am I not seeing it now? Don't. Let me see. Okay, there's special techniques. Pattern. Okay, she doesn't have it on here then, unless maybe I just didn't print out that page, although I printed out everything else. I'll have to look again. Anyway, I'm thinking that, and she says you can change the size literally by just adding or subtracting stitches in quantities of 3, which I thought was pretty cool. I might do a gauge swatch because I want to make sure, I don't want it too tight because then it'll look odd as that accent piece. I want it to be a little more drapey. But I was thinking, y'all tell me what you think. What if I held, this would be dream. What if I held fluffy lace with a strand of fluffy sock? Sorry, I held fluffy sock up first. Wouldn't that be elegant? But I'm not sure if charcoal is the color for me. Maybe Queen of Tarts. What do y'all think? I do have a shirt in Queen of Tarts already. Is it the Rocket Tee? Is that the one that you stripe with the two different lace weight and fingering weight? So they look like stripes, but well, yeah, they are stripes. But it's the same colorway, unless you choose different colors. Anyway, that's what I'm thinking, or maybe even in a black, but I mean, the point is to knit with something in this collection, right? So I want to cast it on soon. So tell me what you all think. Oh, yeah. So she is knitting. What's it called, Laura? I'm trying to remember. I know I should know because I made the shawl in that, right? Yeah, I did. I made the shawl. Oh, Laura says it should be coming to Monday. You can tell us the name of it, Laura. I'm totally fine with that. And I didn't know it was hard to get sport weight over there, Karen. Okay, interesting. I love it. Laura has her own cheerleading team. Very nice. So Lonnie, too hot to wear that in the summer. Yeah, I mean, it might be like I wouldn't be able to wear it outside, obviously, but I'm always looking for things that I can wear to trunk shows and things like that in the summer. So I thought that might be nice. And I could even wear like a tank top underneath it. I think that would be cool, right? So that's what I'm thinking. The sport is, I haven't worked a lot with our sport. So the sport is 80-20. I know that. It's 80% merino, 20% nylon, 3-ply, 328 yards. Look at you, honey. Yeah. So, and here is charcoal. That looks good, doesn't it? Ooh, maybe I could hold sport. I could hold sport with lace weight. That would look good. But Karen says Queen of Tarts. Yeah, I might do Queen of Tarts. Decisions. Well, I'll make my decision in the next week and let y'all know. I can't reach it very well. Just put it up there for now. Okay, so moving on. What else did I want to show you? So, okay, another thing. I did put some not random, I mean, I picked them purposely. I put some other, so I dyed up some more mail pouch on various bases. I think I've got it on Trusty Super Bulky. And what else did I do? I thought there was more, but now I'm not remembering it. But I dyed up some more pink. I noticed when I'm at trunk shows, people will come in with patterns and look for certain things, certain colorways. And I don't right now yet, I don't have a great variety of the rainbow, like reds and pinks and oranges and yellows and greens. And, I've got obviously purples and pinks. I'm heavy on purples and pinks. What can I say? Well, there's deep, moody blues and greens for sure. I'm looking, I have all my DK and above are over here. So DK worsted, which by the way, I'm going to film the room later. I'm going to try to do it today. I meant to do it this morning and time just got away from me because I never have shown the rest of you. I showed my Dying to Knit group this room, but I have not shown the rest of you the finished. I mean, you just kind of see this. There's not a whole lot to show, honestly, but where was I going with that? Oh, because I'm looking over here. So, and we got more reds now, but with this being Valentine's, a lot of people are knitting like Valentine socks and things like that. So I dyed up some Bubblicious, which you might think, oh, that looks an awful lot like you're blushing, but there is a difference. So here's where you can see that your blushing obviously is going to be the more purpley of the two, whereas this is just a straight up, very soft pink. So yeah, and I only did it on a few bases. I'll be honest, fingering is the number one weight that people buy from me. And so I'll be getting some greens dyed up and some other pastel colorways dyed up with spring coming, for people who knit themed socks and stuff like that. So we'll have more of that in the shop. So yes, I do. Yep, you're right, because I have some of the darker colors. Sorry, I was talking to Lonnie. I need some lighter. Yeah, there's a lot of deep dark colors coming out of winter. Obviously, that was part of the last collection. So yeah, we'll be moving on. All right, and I did want to mention monthly mini club shipped it. Well, it is shipping today, and there are literally 2 spots left. So originally, I was thinking I would leave it open-ended, and then realized when I talked to Anne of Twin Mommy, who makes my stitch markers, that wasn't going to work because I had to give her a finite number of stitch markers that I need. And it takes her time to make them. So we settled on a number, and and I was able to, when I think I did a post that said only a handful of spots left, but I was able to increase the number, and now the number that I have is set, and I have 2 spots left. So once those are filled, it will go down for a couple of months, because she sent me several months worth of the stitch markers for that. So they're very cute. I'll give you a sneak peek of that colorway, not today because no one's even had a chance to get theirs yet. So you have to wait. So, but I'll show that later. And then, all right, so let's talk about whips and FO, shall we? Y'all have been busy, I've seen. So let's go ahead and look at what you've been working on. Where are we at? Here we are. All right, there's not as many today. And again, for those of you that don't know, thank you all so much for posting all of your projects. Just for a matter of time, I just show the ones that are yarn that I dyed up. Call me selfish. Selfish reasons day. Hey, Everdina is on Instagram. Thank you so much, Everdina. This is the one that I am wearing is Your Slip is Showing by Casapinka. Sorry, I did not see your comment earlier. And Michelle is watching on Instagram too. Welcome, Michelle. Okay, so this first whip that I'm showing here, this is Cherie of Rehash Fiber, and she did the Luster Cowl by Harami Glover from Pearl Soho. And so she held 2 strands of fingering weight, and then I think that might be, so not quite, well, I don't know if she used, I don't think she used 2 strands of fingering. I think she used a strand of fingering and then a strand, she used fluffy lace Junho. So looks gorgeous. I love it. And I think I grabbed that off of Instagram. So nicely done, Cherie. All right, Tish, she's already got an FO in her February challenge. And let's see, the name of this is Valentine's Day Beanie, and she used Squishy Worsted Dappled as that main colorway there, and then another red for her accent color. And I love it. She did a great pom-pom and everything. So that is awesome. Thank you, Tish. All right, Bobby making progress on, it's called Lee by Marzana Kolacek. And she finished the lace yoke and split for the sleeves. And this was at the beginning of the week, by the way. So I fully expected to see another update, like within the last day or two, where she practically finished the shirt. But no such luck. So she's using the Bon Anniversaire colorway, which I think we saw a project with that last week. It's gorgeous. I love it so much. And it's perfect for this month's fiber challenge. All right, Tracy, who makes such wonderful things. She showed me this pattern the other day, and I'm thinking I might need to make it. I believe it's pronounced Vieira top, and she's using silky sock, and she's using the first Love You Weary skein. We're in this together. And then she's paired it with mail pouch. She's loving it. That is a great, if you haven't looked it up, that's a great top. Very elegant. And I think silky sock is perfect for that pattern. Lots of drape. Yeah, that's good stuff. All right, this is a picture that I snagged from one of the ladies in my knitting group that I am able to go sometimes on Thursday night. And she's using, it doesn't really show up well, I'll be honest, on my monitor. I hope it shows up better on yours. This is the Adalia colorway, and she's knitting, I believe it's called the Birch Shorty Socks. And she finished the first one and had it last night at Knit Group. And so I asked her if I could take a picture. So it's unblocked. But what I really liked about it and what she pointed out, she was like, it looks like it's self-striping. And I said, yeah, with the way that I do a lot of my color repeats, I tend to do short color repeats. And so we end up getting kind of that faux striping effect when you're making socks. And I like that. I like that that happens. So yeah, so that's Adalia. And hey, Karen, I'm glad you're here. Lonnie, you want a daffodil yellow? Okay, I'll keep that in mind. I do have a yellow that is on the dye schedule. It was part of I want to say it was an Easter pastel set that I did as a special order years ago for someone. I don't remember if that one ever came back in the shop because, we just don't do a ton of yellows. Yellow is not a colorway that sells a ton, but you need it because sometimes people want yellow. So yeah, I will definitely be, that's something I've already had my mind on because of trunk shows and things like that, I'll be getting those in the shop, different, colors, so that if you have a special project in mind or something like that, then you can find those in the shop. Okay. Oh, what am I knitting? Well, let me show you. So y'all know, I think I showed you last week, I started another Ranunculus. Let me put I didn't want to offend the ladies last night in my knit group. I took them off. But at Vanessa's, when I was there the other day, look at these. New stitch stoppers. And yeah, she called them the naughty. She's got quite an assortment of naughty stitch stoppers, let me tell you. So I bought that pair. Okay, so this is my second Ranunculus. Here it is in all its glory. It's hard to tell because I was too lazy to get a longer cord cable. So all my stitches are all bunched up, but you can see I'm a good way into the body. I've separated for the sleeves. I did the wide neck. All right, I'm going to tell you the modifications that I made. I'm going to put them in the show notes so that I think somebody had requested that because I'm doing it exactly, well, to the best of my ability. I'm doing it just like my last Ranunculus, which I did in Cavendish. And someone emailed me and said, what is that sweater you're wearing? And this is it. This was my first Ranunculus. And what I did is I cast on the wide neck. I used a size 10 needle the entire way through. I know when you get down to here, she tells you to use smaller needles. Nope, didn't do that. And I skipped. So right here before you separate for the sleeves, I skipped. There are some increase rows. It depends on the size that you're knitting. This is the smallest size with a size 10 needle. And so there are some increase rows right there. But if you look at the picture of the pattern, and I mentioned this before, if you're not, if you don't have a wider bust, you may not want all that excess that you can see here. There's a lot of excess going on. Am I showing that right? Yeah. So I didn't want that. And I think it would have been fine if I had left them. But I was also, I'll tell you about how much yarn I'm using. So I was also kind of interested in reserving some yarn if I could. I don't want to have to play no yarn chicken at the end. I don't want to have to be like, crap, I got to go dye some more yarn and let's hope that it looks the same. So yeah, so I did not do the last two increase rows that are right before you split the sleeves. So when I split for the sleeves, some of the increases in the sleeve area. So my sleeves, the stitches on hold are just a few stitches shy of what the pattern says. So then I'm doing 28. I counted these about 28 body rows here. And in that, I'm evenly spacing out 4 sets of side decreases where I do knit two together on one side of the center line and slip, slip, knit on the other. And I do it on both sides. So that means 4 times 2, that's 8 stitches decreased throughout the entire body. It doesn't even really look like it, does it? So, and it's, if you've seen me wear it, you know, it's kind of wide and it's a crop top. So I always wear a shirt underneath it, but it's fun. I love it. It is the most commented pattern that I have, and everybody loves it. So that, I think that's all the modifications. So the yarn that I'm using on this one is a Hallmark Holiday. So what I do is I hold 1 strand of Swanky sock with its 600 yards, and then 2 strands of fluffy lace. So now obviously there's 600 yards in this, but only 437 yards in each one of these. So what I do is at the end, I will need a little bit from a 3rd skein, excuse me, of the fluffy lace. So, and that will get me through the entire thing. So, yeah, so I'm making good progress. I'm very excited about it. The last time I did this, I was so impressed because I finished it in like 2 weeks. This time it's taken a little bit longer. What's going on there? I'm seeing something that looks like a dropped stitch, y'all. That's not good. What's going on? What is that? I don't know what that is. I think, do y'all see that? I mean, I don't see where it would be, but I can't let that go. Let me see if I have, aha. I have some light bulb stitch markers. I'm just going to go in and hook on to that. And I'll probably go in with some yarn and just like knit it down. You know what I mean? Just in case it's a loose stitch. That is so bizarre. How bizarre. How bizarre. I'm glad I saw that. It's all thanks to you all. All right. So yeah. Making mistakes left and right. Not really, but okay. So yeah. So that's what I'm working on. This was another busy week, so I didn't get as much knitting time in. I plan to get some knitting time in this weekend. I want to work more on my striped step socks by Stephen West. I haven't made any more progress on that. However, he has come out with February's sock pattern already. And it is this, the sorry, I shouldn't be showing all the patterns. Sorry. Oops. Fantastic Stitch socks. And it looks like a combination of some other sock patterns that I've seen. He does such crazy, well, I say sock patterns, some of his sock and shawl pattern stitch combinations that he's come up with. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to knit these. I like them, but I've got other things I want to do. Plus, I was talking to Linda about Summer Lee's Colorwork Cuff Club. Might want to join that. So, but I wanted to show you all this because you can still sign up for his club, I believe, throughout the year. And you get, so if you sign up, then every single month you get a new pattern in your Ravelry library. So I'll probably knit those at some point just because they're so fun. But like I said, I want to cast on the Cindo cowl that I showed you all. And then Bo picked out this morning, he said, he pulled a skein of cookie crumbs. He said, I'd like a hat in this. So I don't know if y'all know, he's told some people this story. Early on, one of my very first hats, it was one of my very first knitting in the round projects, was to make the barley hat by Tin Can Knits. And I knit him one. It was in Malabrigo. And that hat, the way that it fits and everything, is still his favorite hat. I've knit him multiple other hats, including one for the Tampa Bay Lightning, themed and everything. And but this is still his favorite hat. So I said, all right, well, I'll make you the barley hat since that's your favorite hat. But I realized I went and looked at that project page and I didn't take good notes. So I just hope that it's the same. And if it's not, like if it doesn't fit as well, no, I was going to say he'll probably feel bad, but I know Bo, he'll be honest with me. And if that's still his favorite, it'll still be his favorite. And that's okay. But I'm willing to make him another hat. So yeah, so I want to get that cast on too, but that'll be a pretty fast knit for sure. So that won't be difficult to do, which by the way, we need to talk about. It's already 2:00. I was going to say one of these times we need to talk about our experiences as new knitters. Some of y'all have knit and crocheted so long, you may not remember, but I did a short this week because Linda Frank, when I first met Linda, it's been multiple years now since I've met Linda, but when I first knit her, she hadn't even knit her first pair of socks yet. Now that woman knits socks like nobody's business. She probably knit more socks than I have. And she was saying, she was sitting beside me and she was knitting. And she said, this was just the other weekend. And she said that someone had told her that she was knitting wrong. And I was like, really? And she said, yeah, because of the way that they were saying I don't tension my yarn the right way, because she would pick up her yarn and wrap it. And I was like, really? So I did a short basically saying that, because I always get very frustrated when I hear that. And then even Bobby commented in the comments and said, oh yeah, I went to a class one time just for fun and to get a little more experience. And the lady told me I was doing it wrong because I was knitting continental. Like, really? So yeah, we don't do that, right, y'all? And I'm not talking about like, there's a difference between instruction if somebody needs help learning a new technique, or fixing a mistake if somebody needs help with that. That's different. But telling someone that they're doing it wrong, we don't do that. We have such power in these hands of ours and in this mouth of ours. We need to be careful how we wield it. We have great responsibility. So anyway, yeah, but there were some other things that we were talking about. We'll do it next. Oh, Connie, you're taking a brioche class next week. Oh, I need to take a brioche class. I started doing brioche once, and then I just got sidetracked, and I think I ended up tearing out the whip, ripping it out, and using the yarn for something else. But I'd like to get back into it for sure, because brioche it just looks so cool. That's right. Karen says you never do it wrong. Everyone is unique and does it their own way, what they're comfortable. Exactly. And and I forget where it was. It might have even been on Facebook that somebody had commented and showed a picture of their knitting and said, how come my knitting looks different than everyone else? And it turned out that she was knitting. Somebody said, well, what you're doing is what we typically call twisting your stitches. You're knitting through the back leg. And I loved that everyone was so supportive, and they said it's not necessarily wrong if you want your knitting to look that way, that's okay. And sometimes we do intentionally twist our stitches. That's part of the stitch pattern. But, it was nice that they could let her know why it looks different, but nobody gave her a hard time. And yeah, you're doing it wrong. We don't need to do that. All right. So a couple of important dates. Ooh, Dying to Knit. If you're in the group, this coming Thursday. This is a good colorway. I'm definitely dyeing one up for myself for sure. My stash is just a growing. All right. So yeah, this coming Thursday at 7:30 in the group, I will be live. If you're interested in Dying to Knit, then we'll have spots coming open next month sometime. So I'll let you know about that. February 22nd, in a few short weeks, I will be in Tavares at Crochet Aweigh's Yarn Boutique. I'm excited to be there. Obviously, Nash Yarn Fest, I've been talking about that. If you're going to Nash Yarn Fest, please find Connie's post in the Swan City Stitchers Facebook group. Connie Hendricks posted and said, hey, who's going? And be sure to add your name in the comments, because there will be opportunities to get together. And obviously y'all can get together even if I'm not available at certain times. Some of your best friendships have come about by meeting up and doing that. So yeah, so let us know if you're coming. And then a couple of new dates in April. At the end of April, I will be at the Georgia Mountain Needle Arts Festival in Ellijay, Georgia. I'm excited about that. And then way out in August, the beginning of August 8th through the 9th, I will be at the Southern Comforts Fiber Festival, and that's in Charlotte, North Carolina. So look those up if you're close by, or if you can make the trip and want to come, then obviously we always love to see you. Okay, last bit. Hang on a second. You had FOMO. Connie says I had FOMO. FOMO is never good. We can't have that. All right. So let me get my crap together here. No, what am I doing? Sorry, y'all. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm trying to find things, and so I'm messing it up. I'm back. Surprise! Okay. I think that's everything, but I did want to mention really quick. Some of you may have seen my post in the Swan City Stitchers. So, and I because it was shared on Facebook, I will tell you all, a very dear friend and member of the knitting community. If you're local, most of you know her. Who doesn't know Yvette? Such a sweetheart. And everybody, to know Yvette is to love Yvette. And she and her husband lost their son this past week. So I shared a post that they had done. There's a scholarship fund for that. It's a GoFundMe for a scholarship that they're doing. They want to start in honor of their son. So if you're able to give, then please do. If not, please keep them in your thoughts and prayers. And if you want to send a card and you don't have her address, then you could always send it to me, and I'll be happy to forward that on to her. So, yeah. Anyway, so I hate to end on a sad note, but it's important. And you all are always so great in supporting each other and being kind. And yeah, so anyway, I wanted to let you all know in case some of you hadn't seen the post. So, but outside of that, I hope that you all have a great weekend. I plan on taking some downtime, some much needed downtime. I'm going to get some knitting in. I don't have a trunk show this weekend. And by the way, for future trunk shows, I've decided, I talked to Bo about it, and I think that we can probably handle it. Sometimes people don't get the opportunity to shop on Friday because they're working or something else. And then the shop is closed on Saturday for a trunk show. And so they don't get all the same opportunities. So I think what I'll do in the future, if I can swing it, is I'll leave the shop open, and then I'll just, if yarn has already been packed up, I can always just pull the orders and set them aside for you so that you have equal opportunity to shop. So yeah. All right. I think that's it. I'll check your comments real quick. And Cindy B says, you can't do Nashville. I'm sorry to hear that. And yeah, okay. Yes, okay. And the shop was shut. Yes, that's true, Karen. I had another person comment as well. So that's why that is the basis for that particular decision. So hopefully you'll be able to get your shopping done, even if you get in a little bit later. So, all right, I have got to get the last few orders packed up, and then I'm going to run to the post, and I'm going to enjoy my weekend. I hope you do too. All right, take care, everybody. And yeah, we'll see you next time. All right, bye.